There are Exorcists of Purgatory. Do you want to know who they are? They are you and I. More about that in today's video. If you want to support this channel in any way, please do so through Buy Me a Coffee. Now, normally when we speak of an exorcism, what are we talking about? There's this amazing video by Lila Rose, as well as many other Catholic YouTubers that have interviewed other exorcists, and you should check this one out in particular. Normally, they speak of the chief exorcist of a particular diocese or archdiocese is the local bishop. He typically then gives that authority to a local priest, who then serves as the exorcist for that diocese. And it's a ministry typically held by priests using the formal ministry of deliverance, this official ritual, to cast Satan out of a particular individual. Now, when we think about how it is presented in Hollywood, it is very different than the reality. Hollywood usually shows it as this one person, this one priest coming in and doing all the work, as this 1 or 2 time event where they, through the power of Jesus, cast out Satan, and it's very dramatic, it's complete, they don't need the help of anyone else. When you look at the reality, it's very different. First of all, it's extremely rare. Secondly, they do not work alone. Priests work with teams of lay people, lots of people involved in this process. Often the process is very long. It can take years. It is very undramatic. Now, when we use the word exorcism in a loose term, we can see it much more differently. For instance, we can speak of the whole of salvation history from Abraham all the way to the last person that shall enter heaven as one whole exorcism by God on the human race, casting out all the evil, purifying us from beginning all the way till the very end until we are made completely and fully in His image. In this sense, we can speak of you and I being exorcists. In fact, I would say that if you're a parent, especially the parent of a teenager, then you have done an exorcism. And if you have raised several teenagers, and if they have been raised to actually practice the Catholic faith, then you are an accomplished exorcist and should be made a chief one. And I need your advice because it is an extremely difficult process. Now, where did this idea even come from? So the last weekend that I was in El Salvador at that Mass, and in that Sunday's reading, as well as this most recent Sunday's reading, we heard the theme of Jesus performing exorcisms as a way to witness and to purify the people of His time. That priest in El Salvador spoke of us as exorcists. And when I heard that idea, at first I thought, what is he talking about? What's this guy saying? But as he began explaining, I thought, he's right. Now, if you look at our work as Catholics, that is what we do. We are casting out evil from ourselves, from other people, and from the world around us. Even the daily work of connecting with the world and building things and making things, it's like you're forming something from this and turning it into that. So if you see exorcism in this broader sense, that is what we are doing all the time. Especially parenting is an amazing metaphor. In fact, if you were to take the timeline of an official exorcism and compare it to the timeline of raising a child, you would see that they're actually pretty similar. You're bringing them from one place to another. In this sense, and I think in a more profound way, delivering souls from purgatory is like an exorcism, especially when you look at certain examples that we've been looking at recently. Take, for instance, the book by Princess Eugenie. When you see her encounter with certain souls in purgatory, that's exactly what it looks like. They begin appearing to her in this vague form or evil form, or sometimes in the form of an animal. And as she delivers them through prayer and fasting and various other prayers, they are brought to where they look more human. That must be the exact same experience that an exorcist has. Those people come to them looking like this, and by the time they leave, they are a wonderful human being. Although I would even say that the process of delivering a soul in purgatory is more complete, because when they finish, they are completely transformed, whereas people that receive exorcisms here on earth, as I mentioned before, often do not return back to how they were prior to the possession. Now, it's even the case that purgatory has been spoken of in exorcisms. A lot of the things that they reveal are things that we have already heard. Here are a couple things for you to sit with. In one particular exorcism that was done in Spanish, and I'm paraphrasing from the document, the demons mocked the situation that our current church doesn't speak about purgatory, that it doesn't talk about indulgences, that it doesn't reveal all these beautiful and easy ways to deliver the souls in purgatory. Indulgences, praying for them in cemeteries, sprinkling holy water at cemeteries and praying that eternal rest grant unto them prayer, that many people simply don't think about it. In another longer book where it is taken down different interactions that the exorcist was having with the possessed people, similar things were revealed. But most importantly, the idea that many people will judge others to already be in heaven. And even if they offer one or two or a series of masses, they simply do not have an idea of how long the deliverance process is. So what's the takeaway that I want really to leave with you? I want you to watch one of these interviews with an exorcist and pay attention to when they speak about how long an exorcism can take. Years. And I want you to apply that same reality to praying for the souls in purgatory. In other words, never stop praying for them. Do not presume that just because you have offered 1 to 9 or even 30 masses for the souls in purgatory, that your work is finished. When you really read through the lines of these purgatory mystics, they reveal how long it takes. Now, this should not discourage us, but spur us on to pray more fervently, nonstop. And if this work is heavy on your shoulders, remember the beatitude, "Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy." My friends, God bless you, and I will see you in the next one.